What's up, everybody, and welcome to Narcocop MMA. I'm going to be doing a full card breakdown for UFC Belgrade. It is Uros Medic versus Daniel Rodriguez, fresh out of prison, right into a main event. The UFC is loving I'm sure they're loving all this attention they're getting from this fight, but it's an interesting main event with Uros Medic, facing a veteran. He's getting a main event in his home country, so that's a big thing. We got a big card here, a 14-fight card. I'm going to break down every fight. There is some very, very sketchy fights, a lot of newcomers on this card, a couple of late-minute replacements we're going to talk about, but it's I think it's going to be a banger card, to be honest, as far as like action and excitement. But from a betting perspective, it's a little bit of a tougher card. Probably a couple of spots that are decent, but yeah, I don't really love the card betting perspective. But let me go over to chat. Shout out my chat. Carlos, let's go. He says this card is pumped with 6 debutants: Nikolic, Oliveira, Gugnon, and Janicic. Stan, let's go. DA07 says right back in the kitchen for UFC Belgrade. You know it. Theoxeris Costogo Genius says we are getting rinsed this card. I don't feel good about it. Absolutely not. We don't get rinsed. We calculate our bets and we never try to get rinsed. It's all timed well. Subhuman, what's up, my friend? MMA Fanatic, what's up? Rayan says what's up as well. Dixon Cider, Narcos, everyone on drugs. Wise, Earth Medic minus 400. And a 500 minus 400 in this economy. All right, we'll talk about that as well. But let's start out. First fight, it is going to be in the strawweight division. It is the 7-1 newcomer Marina Spasic versus the 7-2-1 Stefiani Luciano. Luciano minus 315 and the comeback on Spasic at 256. So Spasic is 6 years older. She's a little bit shorter here. She is obviously a newcomer here to the UFC. But I actually kind of like what I see from Spasic as far as the striking. She's got good striking. She's got a kickboxing background. I think she was a European champion in kickboxing. She has nasty work to the body. She loves kicking to the body, actually throwing punches to the body. I like that from WMMA. And she likes to strike. I mean, don't get it twisted. That's what she likes to do. I will say that I have seen her grapple in some of these fights. Actually, her fight in that she lost against Marina Merchek, she actually landed, I think, 3 or 4 takedowns. Now, she lost that fight. But I will tell you, Marina is a 4-time champion in kickboxing. She's a really, really good kickboxer. So if you can't grapple her, she's probably going to cook you on the feet. And she was just the better striker of the two. Spasic did try to get the fight to the ground. It just didn't work. It didn't work because she couldn't keep her on the ground. And her jiu-jitsu is not really there, to be honest. The one fight that I found that, she kind of got grounded a little bit was the Beck fight where she won in round 2 by KO. She did get grounded there a couple of times. That chick Beck was going for leg locks every time she grounded her, so it was kind of weird. I will say on the feet, I like Spasic here, honestly. I think Luciano's good on the feet. I think Spasic is better on the feet. The problem that's going to come in for Spasic is, what if Luciano decides to grapple and take this fight to the mat? I think she has a big edge on the ground, to be honest. We saw her last fight go to the grappling later in the fight. She got a submission. It could end up being where she grapples earlier here because Spasic, to me, is going to possibly pressure and land some big shots on the feet. It's going to come down to Luciano fight IQ, in my opinion. If she grapples, I think she potentially could sub this girl Spasic. We haven't really seen much from her ground game. I'm going to guess that she's not very good on the ground, honestly. But we've seen Luciano, even against Ravina Oliveira, we saw how easy she made it in round 3. I don't like that she was striking with Oliveira for 2 rounds and then decided to go to grappling later. Let's see her fight IQ here. She has been off for a while. I think she's the rightful favorite, but I think this line's a bit too big, man. I think she's the more well-rounded fighter. But again, 315 on Luciano just is not it for me. We saw Sam Hughes kind of out-grapple her in that fight. Obviously, Sam Hughes is a veteran, and to me, she's probably a lot more well-rounded than a girl like Spasic. But if this is striking for 15 minutes, there's no way Luciano's going to look minus 315. Sorry, I'm going to need water breaks today, but yeah, I mean, she's not a minus 315 fighter, honestly, unless she just decides to grapple early, you know? So for me, it's a big pass fight for now, but maybe I'll look at some props and decide what happens. Moise says Stefiani had to travel 24 hours. Marina for the upset. Marina travels 30 minutes. Obviously, that's the other thing. It's a hometown fight, right? Marina is from Serbia, so kind of a little lean, you know. Moise says she also used to kickbox at 133. I don't know if she's going to have a size advantage, though. She's going to be, Luciana's kind of big for the weight class. So let's see here. Stan says never get rinsed in the Discord. Yeah, we don't get rinsed. Try not to. If Luciana's smart, she goes for the sub. Yeah. Counting on fight IQ, that's another thing. Very, very true. Poach, what's up, my friend? Elijah, what's up? I don't remember Luciana ever looking sexy. Where you find this picture, Narco? You got to ask my guy that does my thumbnails. Oliveira 1 round 1, huge red flag. Yeah, I mean, she decided to strike with her. That's my thing. Dan O, what's up, my friend? She decided to strike with Oliveira. So fight IQ, right? It comes down to fight IQ, I think, for this fight. If she strikes, I'm telling you, if she strikes with Spasic, I think Spasic is the better striker. Probably wins the fight. So, and she has nasty, nasty body work, man. Those body kicks and punches to the body, they're pretty nasty. All right. Let's move on. Next fight. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 21-5 Alexander Poppeck versus the 13-2 Jovan Leka. Leka minus 225. Poppeck plus 189. Line's moving a little bit on Leka. I understand why. I think Poppeck is coming in on a week's notice. Poppeck is a natural 205er. Poppeck will give up some size here. He will give up a lot of weight here. And, when I look at Poppeck, and his record is nice, 21-5, very shiny record. He's on a big winning streak, 5-fight winning streak. But who is he beating, man? That's my thing, is like, who is he beating? His best win is his last win against Narcun. But Narcun's 36. Narcun was on a 3-fight losing streak at KSW. He got cut from KSW. He fought at one of the worst leagues that I've never heard of, called Seaside Battle after that, somewhere in Poland. I've never even heard of this league. He fought 3 absolute cans, right, and finished them all fine. And then he took 2 years off, and he fought Poppeck, and who cares? Poppeck won by decision. He just kind of outstruck him, stuffed takedowns. But Poppeck is so slow, man. Low volume, very, very fucking slow. Like, it's funny that he's moving up to heavyweight, and Leka's going to be more athletic than him. I think Leka's going to be potentially faster than him. Like, he's 10 years younger. He's going to be the guy improving. This guy, Poppeck, honestly stinks, dude. Like, I'm watching his tape, and I'm like, dude, this guy is very, very bad. Like, he has power, yes, but he throws very little volume, and I don't think his wrestling is that good. Like, he lost to Pavel Langer his last fight. That guy Langer is 13-12, and he's older. And that guy gets finished. He's been finished in his last 3 fights, that Langer dude. And Poppeck is obviously one of them that finished it. He got revenge. But how do you lose to that guy? You know what I'm saying? And his wins are just round one finishes against fucking stinky fighters, man. Like these guys, every one of them that he beat suck. Every time he steps up, he loses. So Taylor Johnson beat him. Jamal Hill, obviously, in Contender Series years ago, beat him. Dusko Todorovic subbed him at 190 pounds. Rob Wilkinson subbed him. Like, all his wins are shitty-ass wins, bottom-of-the-barrel wins. And so when you look at Leka and you say, yeah, well, he hasn't beat many good guys. I agree. He hasn't beat many good guys as well. But his wins are better. His wins are literally better than this dude's wins. You know, I guess the Noftaliev guy is okay win, you know, on Contender Series. I don't think that's a great win because I think that guy's a fraud as well. Danilo Suzar, I think that guy fought on. Did he fight on? No, he fought on Aries FC. Oh, yeah, he did fight on Contender Series. Yeah, he got KO'd by Waldo, and I don't think that guy's any good. He was just kind of stuffing takedowns there, and then eventually finished him. But I just think he's more athletic. He's younger. He's bigger, way bigger. And if he gets on top of Poppeck, he's going to smash him. So for me, it's just an easy side here on Leka. I think he wins here. I think he's a pretty safe parlay piece here, honestly. I think Poppeck is just robotic, slow. Nothing really good about his game, man. Maybe ground and pound when he gets on top, but he's facing bums. So appreciate you, my man. Daniel Levy, Half the Battle podcast. Smash the like he said, and go watch his show as always. Corey says, love from Kenya. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for joining. Leka's body looks AI generated, says DO7. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is true. I mean, Naftaliev won the card. He was getting takedowns, but Naftaliev is a good wrestler early on until he gasses, right? He cardiac arrests in every fight. So, all right, let's move on. Next one. It is in the women's bantamweight division. It is 7-5 Haley Cowan versus the 8-1 Nina Milosevic. Nina currently a big favorite, minus 500. Haley Cowan plus 375. I mean, Cowan's flying all the way to Serbia, right? She's 34 years old. She stinks. She's 0-3 in the UFC. She hasn't looked good in the UFC. She got finished in her last fight against Elise Pereira. I mean, this Milosevic girl is pretty aggressive. She seems like she can grapple. She can strike. She's very, very aggressive. And I think that alone gets it done versus a girl like Cowan. I think Cowan is just kind of being brought in here to lose. Will I ever play minus 500 on a debutante in women's MMA? Absolutely not. She's given up some size and reach here. But yeah, like, how is Cowan going to beat her? Maybe get her down, you know, potentially get her down, get on top potentially. But Nina looks aggressive. She looks pretty stout. And if you're strong, you know, stronger in women's MMA, you're probably going to win. She is better striker of the two, even though I don't love her striking. I think she's better than Cowan is. Cowan is kind of kick reliant. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say here, man. I don't want to break this fight down too much, but I think Cowan is just not UFC level. She was a gymnast or whatever. And I just feel like this is a spot for Nina to kind of showcase in Serbia and potentially get a finish on Cowan. So yeah, I mean, I'm not laying minus 500, like I said, but I think Nina should roll here pretty easily. Guru, what's up, my friend? If you're not watching Narco, you must not like money. Can't wait to have you back on the show. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for the compliment. Literally never Cowan, correct. Moise says Nina is very strong, very strong. Yeah, I think she is pretty aggressive and strong as well. Appreciate you, Rick. $20 dono. Very, very appreciative of that. Thank you very much for that donation to the channel. yeah, I'm just trying to do more content. I appreciate all the support people give me, the donos, even just the support that you guys being in here, liking, subscribing, doing all that. I appreciate all of that. 227 live viewers. So thank you very, very much. And again, thank you very much to Rick for the actual donation of $20. Appreciate it very much. Coffee Breakfast says, Narco, how do you feel about the sub round 1, round 2 prop? Like Nina sub? I don't know about sub, man. I think she's more aggressive with her ground and pound and like power. Like I don't know if she's gonna go for a sub and sub Cowan. I think it's more KO, if anything, but then you're relying on a debutante women's MMA. I don't know. Vic Ross is pumped for the show. Thanks for holding it down on these mid cards. I appreciate you, my friend. Moist says ITD is safest. Yeah, ITD is probably better than, I don't know what it is, but if it's minus money ITD, there's no fucking way. Do not play that. I'm telling you right now, do not play minus money on ITD. What's her ITD? It's plus, it's like Pick'em. I don't really like that, honestly. Pick'em and women's MMA debutante. I know she's aggressive, but even like what's her name knocked out Cowan, but it was a knee. It was a flush knee that landed. And I think Alice Pereira like has way longer reach. Like she's, I don't know. I don't know if she's a better striker than Nina, but she was pretty aggressive in that fight. She was looking to take Cowan's neck off or head off. So I don't know. Finish only, yes, that's for sure safer in my opinion. You take Nina by finish only, but what's the line? Again, everything is line dependent. Let me see. Oh my God. Finish only is disgusting, dude. It's bigger than her money line. It's minus 600. So that's a shit bet. Yeah, that's not even a good bet. Not to go to the, yeah, I'd rather play that, honestly. Minus 130 than plus 100. I'd rather play that. Like, just in case Cowan somehow gets on top or something and this girl just looks horrible. But yeah, I'm staying away from this fight. Not something I want to invest my money in. And I just want to see, how good is Nina? Is she good? This is not a stiff test, so she should pass with flying colors. But it's UFC debut, man. We've seen jitters. We've seen it over and over again, UFC debutantes. So be very, very careful. Next one. It is in a lightweight division. It is the 18-10 Kyle Prepolec versus 20-5 Matthias Rebecki. And Rebecki is minus 700. The comeback on Prepolec at plus 505. Size advantage for Prepolec, but I think that's about it. Like, I'm a guy where I bet Prepolec against Dober at big plus money, right? And the bet looked amazing, right? Going into round 3, it was pick'em, and Prepolec was actually looking good at the beginning of round 3, and he got that nut shot that saved. I think that saved Dober, honestly, because his cardio looked like it was falling apart, and Prepolec was on the front foot looking better. It gave him a long break. I don't know what it was. It was like a 3-4 minute break. And obviously Prepolec was really fucked up after that. And then Dober went balls to the wall and finished him, right? I think that was an incredible bet. And the preface of the bet was I was saying that Prepolec was going to be able to strike with Dober because I think that's what he wants. He wants to strike with people. He's a pretty good striker. Prepolec, he's very, very tough, very good chin. And I thought it was going to be competitive, and the line wasn't like it was not going to be competitive. And I knew Dober wasn't going to grapple. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a great line to bet on Prepolec because this is going to be a striking fight. It's in Canada. Why not? Right? Well, this is way different. Rebecki is not going to just sit there and strike with you. He's going to throw big bombs, right? He's very, very durable. And then he's going to grapple, and that grappling is going to come easy for him here, man. Like, anytime he wants to level change, he's going to take Prepolec down. Prepolec's takedown defense is shit, right? And the other thing is, a big thing here, I think, is, honestly, Rebecki can destroy Prepolec's lead leg. Prepolec is a southpaw. Rebecki is a southpaw. he's going to fucking destroy that lead leg of Prepolec, which is something that Dober was able to have a little bit of success with, but he should have had a lot more success. He should have been kicking the legs a lot more. I know people, why is it but it's the matchup base, dude. It's not. This matchup for Rebecki is excellent. It's an excellent matchup for him. Look at who Rebecki's been fighting. All these guys that he's been fighting are excellent counter grapplers, and they're all excellent with their wrestling. Duncan is excellent. Klein is excellent. Dawson is excellent. Orlabai is excellent. Ferreira is excellent. The last guy that's not good with grappling was Roosevelt Roberts. And guess what? He got immediately subbed, right? I think you guys are misunderstanding the matchup of that's why he's minus 700, because the grappling edge here is enormous. Enormous on Rebecki. I can't tell you how big of a grappling edge he has here. It's enormous. He gets on top of Prepolec, he's going to fucking destroy him. It's going to be either a sub or a KO. I'm telling you guys, by ground and pound. This fight, he's going to finish the guy on the mat. I just don't know how. You know, you look at Prepolec, and he has 10 losses. 4 of them are inside the distance. Last one was a KO by Dober. He's never been, but the other ones have been submissions. Benoit Saint Denis subbed him. You know, you go back and look at the Austin Hubbard fight, and Austin Hubbard had success in the grappling against this dude. You know, in rounds, I think it was rounds 2 and 3, he had a lot of success in the grappling. That's Austin Hubbard, man, for Christ's sake. Rebecki's going to destroy him on the mat. The only thing concerned for Rebecki, in my opinion, in this fight is the head kick from Prepolec. You know, he has that lead leg that he throws up, and he could potentially catch Rebecki. Rebecki got caught with it against Grant Dawson last fight, where he got hurt with it. So I think that's the one thing he's got to look out for. But outside of that, man, Rebecki should just absolutely run through this guy in the grappling. Like, so easy. So easy. I'm telling you guys. So, I mean, is he a 700 favorite? I mean, the line's kind of big, you know? But, I mean, what the fuck is Prepolec going to do in this? How is he going to stuff takedowns, man? How is he stuffing takedowns in this fight? Rebecki's an excellent wrestler. Don't get it twisted. It's the guys that he's fighting is why he hasn't had a lot of wrestling success. But this is a guy that out-grappled Orlabai, guys. You guys forget that. Do you imagine what Orlabai would do to Prepolec? Bad things, bro. He would do very bad things to Prepolec. So, yeah, I think this hits it on the head. I mean, the physicality here is going to be monstrous, man. It's going to be monstrous. So, yeah, I mean, let's move on. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think, you know, I understand that Rebecki's lost a lot of late. You know, he's cutting up. But this is a completely different matchup. Moving on. It is in a featherweight division. It is the 12-6 Dennis Buzukja versus 15-4 Bogdan Grad. Grad's down to minus 190 and a comeback on Buzukja at plus 165. So I went into tape here wanting to bet Buzukja, honestly. I'm like, let me look into this fight, because it feels like this line's a little bit too wide for Bogdan Grad, who I don't really rate that much. I come away of tape and say to myself that, you know, Buzukja's best performance was in his loss to Francis Marshall. I mean, he got hurt very, very badly, almost got finished there, honestly, against Francis Marshall. Came back in that fight. I do remember, though, that fight was Francis Marshall on very, very short notice. He took that fight like a week notice up a weight class, like for both guys. So I think that was kind of why, you know, Francis kind of fell off in that fight. Like, he got tired. But when you watch Jamal Emmers one punch this guy, you know, Emmers doesn't really have huge power. Last fight was like one of the worst knockouts you'll ever see. And that was like 3.5 months ago. And now he's fighting Bogdan Grad. And I know Grad, you know, he's not a great striker, but he can grapple some. You know, he's got some wrestling in his back pocket. I think he throws hard. I think he's pretty physical, you know, overall. You know, even though He doesn't have any great wins. I would say his best win is probably Michael Aswell by split, and that wasn't a great win. His chin is kind of iffy. So that's another thing. Do I want to lay Bogdan Grad juice? No. Who I think wins here? I think Bogdan Grad actually wins. I just feel like, he's a guy that has a more well-rounded mixed martial arts game, like especially with the grappling. I think he's going to be able to get Buzukja down. Buzukja potentially could make mistakes and get subbed here by Bogdan Grad, but I just think Grad is more physical. I think he's going to be able to mix in takedowns. I even think he can hurt Dennis Buzukja on the feet. He's pretty aggressive. I mean, Bogdan Grad looked really good against Luke Riley in round 1. He landed some big shots. He got a takedown. He kind of mauled him on the ground. And then he got obviously caught in round 2. Maybe Buzukja can catch him on the feet. I mean, that's, I guess, one way of looking at it. But I don't know. Dennis Buzukja, probably not UFC level. Bogdan Grad is probably like fringe UFC level. He's training at good gyms now. He actually has been traveling everywhere. It seems like he was in I think he was in the Philippines, or no, it was in Thailand. He was in Thailand training. Then he went to Great Britain top team, I believe. He trained there for a little bit. So he's been making his rounds in different gyms. I feel like this is a guy that potentially, even at 30, could improve, because getting new looks against better guys and stuff could help him. Buzukja, honestly, that's the other thing with Buzukja. Like, he has good guys. He's training with good guys, but has he fucking improved? What part of his game has improved? I don't even know. No, I don't think any part of his game is. I think he's the same guy that he once was years ago. He's just not improved, and he's 28. Yeah, I think Grad is going to win. I don't know how. I'm not very confident in this fight. I think it's a pass fight for me. If you have a confident take, let it rip. I don't know. But for me, I really don't have a confident take between these two guys. It's like, I think Grad wins. I think he has more ways to win. I think Buzukja has, a couple of ways to win, decision or KO. I think Grad can win multiple ways. So, yeah, for me, I'm just going to pass on this fight. I'm not really too keen on what's going to happen. Yeah, Grad has blonde hair, dude. You got to be careful. Yeah, Anthony Smith has completely lost it. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate you as well. William Robbins, what's up? Fade Buzukja more than betting Grad. Yeah, I mean, if you're betting Grad, you're probably fading Buzukja. Yep, I agree. Grad will make it pretty for the judges. Parlaying Grad is suicide. I agree, Nick. All right. Next one. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 12-4-2 Mark Vologdin versus the 16-2 Borislav Nikolic. And Nikolic currently minus 180. Comeback on Vologdin plus 155. This line literally has not moved. It's stuck at this price for a couple of days now. I mean, one thing that sticks out right away is like the 6-inch height advantage, probably a massive reach advantage. But he is 7 years younger as Vologdin, right? I think Vologdin, technically speaking, is the better technical striker of these two guys. I think Vologdin's going to have a speed advantage over Nikolic. He obviously has the UFC experience edge, right? He's fought in the UFC already. But the one thing that's absolutely certain with Vologdin is that this guy starts fights looking pretty good, right? He has his hands up. He's moving pretty well. He's trying to be technical. And somehow, some way, every single fight becomes an absolute war. If it extends, he loses all types of ability to have defense, to have head movement, to be a technical striker. Everything goes out the window after like the first 4 minutes. I don't know what happens, why. Maybe because he gets tired, maybe because he gets, he lactic, or he's like a little bit too thick. But after 5 minutes, this guy has no defense. This guy has fight IQ is completely out the window, right? And it's just the absolute fucking brawl every fight. And I mean, the damage he's taken in the last 2 fights is not good for a 26-year-old man. You're talking about a guy that's taken a shit ton of damage in his Dana White's Contender Series and a shit ton of damage against Castaneda, where he was almost finished. Now, he's facing a guy, Nikolic, who has no regards for defense once the bell sounds. Like, this guy is coming forward and just trying to obliterate you. Big jabs. I mean, his jabs, he's throwing everything into every jab. He's throwing big fucking shots up the middle. He's got a very long reach, it seems like, and it looks like he hits very hard, man. Like, this guy is absolutely trying to fucking kill you. I mean, if he could land spinning elbows in the clinch, knees, you name it, he's going to try to do it. His takedown defense, to me, is shit. A gust of wind can take him down. The thing is, he's got nasty front chokes. He's got nasty guillotines. His takedown defense is basically that. It's like he's going for a guillotine. He's going for a front choke. He does work back up. It's hard to kind of keep him down. He'll work back up and try to either put you in some kind of submission or just work his way back up. He works his way back up in all of these fights. Hamza Kooji is a pretty damn, good grappler. Like, he'll try to get people down and stuff. He had like little to no success against Nikolic getting him down. Like, he got him down, but Nikolic got back up. And he has got an excellent gas tank, dude. His gas tank is crazy good. He's got some really, really good wins under his belt. Like, the win against Nicholas Huende, he was losing almost all of the fight, but then he hurt Huende in round 4 and then subsequently choked him out. That's a really, really good win. I'm telling you guys, that's an excellent win for him. Malta win last fight. Malta, is not the best fighter, but it's very, very tough. Very tough fighter who's faced pretty good opposition. Luke Riley, he went to the decision against Luke Riley. Riley couldn't finish this guy. And Nikolic just put him out. Like, absolutely put him out. This guy's never been put out before, So you look at a lot of these guys that Nikolic is putting out. Even the Galiev guy, that guy, probably not the best record, probably a little bit padded, but not that padded when you look at it. Puts him out, man. Like, this guy hits hard, very, very hard. And the way Vologdin just blocks punches with his face, and last time it was Castaneda, you do not want to block punches with your face against Nikolic. He's going to knock you out. And I think this might be honestly the spot where Vologdin gets knocked out. Now, if Vologdin grapples, I think he can have grappling success by getting takedowns. I'm just not sure if he's going to hold Nikolic down. That's the thing. And because Nikolic if Vologdin's so short, Nikolic might be able to wrap up some kind of front choke. He's got very long arms. He's got good front chokes. And he'll go for him over and over and over again. Somehow he doesn't burn his hands out. I don't even know how. His arms out. But yeah, can Vologdin clip Nikolic? Yes, absolutely. I think Vologdin can probably hurt Nikolic at some point. He's never been finished, but I think Vologdin could potentially finish. He has been finished, by sub, but he's never been KO'd, I meant. So this is a crazy, crazy fight, man. It's going to be an action fight. Very, very good fight. Both guys are hittable. Both guys carry power. Both guys are very tough, so I could see a scenario where both guys get knocked down, multiple submission attempts, and somehow, some fucking way, the fight ends in decision, with multiple finishing sequences, because that's just how Vologdin fights go. So I do favor Nikolic. I think Nikolic, size advantage at home. I know he's on short notice, but seems like to have the better cardio. Vologdin cardio falls off a cliff, man. It really does. So I favor Nikolic here. I don't know how he gets it done, but I think it's Nikolic all day here. Maybe by KO. I'm not sure. Anyone you'd like to pair with Leka for a 2-leg? We'll talk about that. I'll let you know. The fight for Vologdin fight is under 2.5 plus. Yeah, that's not horrible. One day he's a legend himself. Absolutely good fighter. Vologdin is absolutely terrible, horrible. Yeah, I mean, he looks good early, like I said. Then he falls off a cliff. He has no sense of being, I don't know, no fight IQ, no technical ability after he gets tired. I don't know. All right, let's move on. Next fight. It is in a welterweight division. It is the 12-4 Oban Elliott. It's a 9-0 Michael Oliveira. Currently, Oliveira minus 355. Elliott 285. I really like Michael Oliveira's striking, man. Excellent jab. I put a post on X saying this is Michael Morales 2.0. He's long. He hits hard. He hits very, very hard. He's super athletic. The only thing with Michael Oliveira that hasn't been tested is his ground game. He's never really been on his back. He's never really stuffed many takedowns. I think he's stuffed like maybe 4 or 5 in his career from what I've seen on the tape. If you look at his IG, he's constantly training with Rodolfo Bellato, who's a 205er, who's very, very big. And they're grappling a lot. He's stuffing a lot of takedowns against Bellato. But again, that's, they're not really killing each other. If you watch actually look at his IG, he's sparring very, very hard against a bunch of these guys. He even spars Poatan at some point, a couple of times. This guy, I think he's special. That's just my read on him. I think he's special. I think he hits very, very hard. He is very, very slick with his striking. He kind of he manages distance very, very good. He uses that jab. The jab is excellent. It's very powerful. But the jab sets up everything for this guy. Sets up his big shots. He's got a good check left hook. Man, Oban Elliott is up against it here, man. The only thing I would say Oban Elliott has going for him in this fight is that Michael Oliveira is making his UFC debut. He is flying all the way to Serbia. Maybe UFC jitters, maybe grappling is not as good as we might think it is, or it's not been tested, and maybe Oban can get on him, get on his back. I don't think so, man. I think Oliveira is going to be way stronger. 1, I think he's going to be way more athletic. 2, and number 3, most importantly, is the distance management from Oliveira. I think Oban Elliott is going to be running into this jab. If you watch Oban Elliott in the way he crashes into the pocket, like jumping into the pocket, I think the jab is going to be a huge weapon for Michael Oliveira. I think, Oban Elliott's going to run into that jab. He's not going to like it. And I'm going to say this. I won't be shocked if Michael Oliveira drops Oban Elliott with a jab in this fight, because the way Oban Elliott jumps in, he's going to jump into a jab, and Oliveira has a nasty-ass jab, man. It's nasty. And so, yeah, I don't see many paths for Elliott outside of grappling, man. He's not outstriking Oliveira. Maybe he lands a big shot, but I think Oliveira is very, very durable. Victor, who was it last time he fought? Victor, the guy that beat, let me see, sorry. Victor, Valenzuela. Yeah, that's the guy. Victor Valenzuela. Like, he hits hard. Victor Valenzuela hits hard. He's a good kickboxer. And, he had a little bit of success early, but after that, he got picked apart by Oliveira, man. So I really like this guy. I think he's going to potentially KO Elliott. I don't know when, but I think this guy, big prospect. Big prospect for me. Let's move on. Next fight in the lightweight division. It is the 23-6 Tofik Musayev versus the 24-5-1 Ludovic Klein. And Klein is a minus 260 favorite. Musayev plus 215. It is going to be a striking battle for the most part. I mean, Tofik is potentially going to try to wrestle. What I've seen from Ludovic Klein, I really like. As far as takedown defense, it's excellent. Does all the right things. He's very explosive. I think he's going to be the faster of the two. Tofik does have very good striking, and he has tons of power. So Klein has to be careful with those big power shots, but Klein has very good kicking game. He manages distance, even though he's short. He has very, very good distance management. Excellent in and out movement. He's going to be the younger of the two by 5 years. Tofik last fight cheated his ass off against Bahamondes, grabbing the cage after he was hurt very by it. I mean, he was going to get taken down. He grabbed the cage, somehow ended up on top of Bahamondes and then busting him up with elbows. That changed the entire fight. Do I think this line's a little bit wide? Potentially, yes. I think maybe it's a little bit wide. Musayev could, in theory, maybe get takedowns. I've seen him grapple a lot in the regionals, Ryzen, stuff like that. He did grapple. So potentially he could take him down. And I will say, Ludovic Klein, if you get him completely flat on his back, he hasn't looked good. In the times that I've seen that he's been completely flattened, he hasn't been good. But he hasn't been flattened a lot. The guys to flatten him are Mateusz Gamrot, right? And Rebecki flattened him in round 3, but that was because he injured his ankle. Like, he completely fucked up his ankle. Outside of that, the guy is usually very, very hard to flatten out, very, very hard to take down. Tofik will probably gas if he's continually wrestling. I mean, he's 36. His cardio has looked pretty good, but I think Klein is probably going to stuff a lot of the takedowns. And striking, I like Klein striking better. He's cleaner, he's faster, he's younger. Maybe Tofik power edge, but I think his defense stinks compared to Klein. I think Klein's defense is much better. He is coming off an injury. Yeah, that's a good point. Klein broke his leg versus Rebecki. Will be 100%. That's the question. But he's been out for a while. I'm pretty sure he should be. Yeah, almost a year. October, 10 months. He even grappled May 9th. So I'm assuming he's fine. He's fine here. Yeah, I kind of was one person that underestimated how good Klein was throughout his run. I think the move up to 155 has really, really helped this guy. He was killing himself to make 45. And it's kind of resurrected his career. Look at it. I mean, look at his career. Before that, he got finished by Landwehr. He lost to Trezano, who's not even in the UFC. And then started going on a win streak. Mason Jones, nice win. Bahamondes, very good win. Rebecki, really, really good win. His loss has been to Gamrot, who Tofik is not Gamrot with the grappling. So, yeah, I like Klein here, but I'm not going to play that price. What do we got? Nah, his striking is really good. I think his striking is very, very good. He's got excellent striking, I would say. I think his trade is actually striking. I think it's very, very good. All right, let's move on. Next one. It's in the lightweight division. It is the 19-3 Milos Janicic versus the 9-2 Noah Gugnon. Currently, Gugnon -115 with the comeback on Janicic at -105. This fight's kind of late for both guys. Janicic is going to be the bigger of the two. He's going to have a reach advantage. He's going to have a lot more experience as far as MMA is considered. He's a dangerous Muay Thai striker, I would call him. Excellent kicks, big power in his hands. I think he's mostly more power in his hands than his kicking game. It's going to be longer, like I said, more experience. The side of Gugnon that I like is I do think he's going to have a little bit of a speed advantage. I think he's going to be a little more athletic than a guy like Janicic. And I think the biggest key here is the grappling edge for Gugnon. I think he can get this fight to the mat. Janicic has shown that he can get grounded. He's not the best grappler. I've seen him in fights where he's been grappled. Specifically Akbar fight where he finished in round 3. He's getting taken down a lot in that fight. the Roman fight, he got taken down in the loss. Can't remember which other ones, but he did. Oh, he got grounded actually last fight against Alex Oliveira right away. And then Oliveira did some clumsy thing and ended up on bottom and getting finished. This is a guy in Janicic who's an excellent striker, has a lot of power. But I think his weakness is the grappling. And I think Gugnon has shown that he can actually grapple. And once on top, that's the thing I like about this guy, Gugnon, is, man, his ground and pound is absolutely nasty. He's got nasty, nasty ground and pound, hellacious elbows on top. And even in the striking, I think he's actually really good. He's very, very serviceable there. Probably improving a lot there. So even in the striking, I think he can compete with Janicic. It's the wrestling that I think he can get Janicic down here and then do work on top, in my opinion. So I think he's the rightful side here. I think he probably should be a little bit bigger of a favorite, maybe like minus 150 based on the grappling upside, honestly. Janicic is dangerous on the feet, so Gugnon has to be careful. He has been knocked out. He got knocked out by who's the guy on Bellator? Mark Ewan. He actually doesn't fight on Bellator anymore, but that guy fought he fought on PFL and yeah, he fought a bunch on PFL actually. Bunch of fights on PFL for Mark Ewan. But yeah, he got hurt there with an elbow against the cage. He was kind of getting picked apart, but the difference between Ewan and Janicic is Ewan is a lot faster on the feet than Janicic. They're kind of similar builds, like big guys, tall guys, kind of like the kickboxing like Janicic, but the speed on Mark Ewan is a lot different than Janicic. He was a lot faster than Noah, which gave Noah a lot of problems on the feet. So, and then also, I think Mark Ewan is probably a much better grappler than Milos. So it wasn't something that Noah could go to. Let's move on. Next fight. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 7-4 Gilbert Urbina versus the 14-3 Vlasto Cepo. Cepo currently minus 350 with the comeback on Urbina plus 275. And I will tell you guys right now, you want to see a madman? Go watch this guy Cepo. Every fight, it's throwing bombs. It's no regards for defense. He doesn't give two shits about defense. Everything is power. Everything is thrown with no technique, really, like just crazy power. He's like a trainer for the military, like special operations or whatever. He's an absolute fucking madman, Cepo. Urbina, I think he has skills. The problem for Urbina is his chin is not very good. He's 7-4. He's been finished in 3 fights. He's been knocked out in his last 2. Rebecki killed him with a left hook. Uros killed him with that straight left after he dropped Uros Medic, by the way. But then he got destroyed. He's been knocked out on Ultimate Fighter by Gore. You know, his chin is just not very good. He's moving up in weight to 85 here. Maybe that helps his chin. I don't really know because he's a big set. At 170 pounds, he's very big. 6'3", lengthy guy. Maybe he was killing himself to get there. But, man, he's got to be very careful early here against Cepo. Cepo, the way to beat him is obviously to ground him, get him down, or maybe even wear him out. Like, his cardio is not very good. I think he slows down big time after, like, 1 round. You know, around, like, maybe 7 minutes. If Urbina can survive the wave early, I think he's going to have a lot of success later, you know, potentially grounding the fight, getting on top. But I don't think he survives, honestly. I think this Cepo guy is just too much of a marauder for him. Maybe if Urbina gets the fight down early, but I've seen, like, even early Cepo, when he's strong and stuff, he's stuffing a lot of takedowns, man. He's stuffing a lot of takedowns. He's just so physically strong that he's stuffing all of these takedowns against them. So Urbina is being brought in here like to obviously get knocked out, man. And they're showcasing this Cepo guy who's not good at all, but he's very, like, entertainment-wise, it's what the UFC wants. This is the type of guy they want. An absolute marauder that just throws everything into every single freaking shot that he throws. Like, he's 14-3. Every single win is by finish. Every win that he has not even gone to round 3. Every one of them has been round 1, except one was round 2. Every other finish was round 1. This guy's an absolute maniac. And I mean, he throws everything into every punch. He's got a ton of power, and his chin is exceptional. I've seen him hit clean by big punches, and he just has a crazy good chin, man. Urbina needs to fucking grapple. Like, grapple if like his life depended on it. So we'll see the game plan. Like, he's got to grapple. Like, that's about it. You gas from grappling, you gas. Who cares? But you cannot strike with this guy. He's gonna make you uncomfortable, even though, you know, you might be the better striker of the two. He's just gonna make you so uncomfortable, it's not gonna matter. And he's gonna land a big shot on you. So yeah, I mean, I don't like this fight for Urbina at all. He needs to fly. I mean, he just arrived yesterday. I don't know why he took so long to fly into Serbia. You know, a very short week now for him. Got to adjust to the different time zone, the jet lag, the this, the that. I don't like this fight for him, man. I'm not going to. There's no way I can lay minus 350 with a guy like Cepo with a lot of holes in his game. But he's probably going to knock him out. Let's move on. What's the next fight here? Next fight is in the middleweight division. It is the 13-6 Dusko Todorovic versus the 11-6 Robert Valentin. Currently, Valentin 160, Todorovic 140. I want nothing to do with this fight, guys. Two guys that have bad fight IQs. Two guys that I will tell you how this goes. Dusko Todorovic is the better mixed martial artist here. He's better technically striking. He's better technically grappling. But the intangibles are all Valentin. Valentin has better cardio. Valentin has a lot more toughness. Valentin is a lot more durable. So all the intangibles are on one side. The skills technically are on the other side. But dude, listening to Dusko and all these injuries with his knee and having him pull out just recently out of a fight because of his knee against Deontay Johnson, it's the same knee that got injured. He talked about it against the Medina fight where his knee got fucked up right before the fight and he wanted to pull out. But he said in an interview that if he pulled out, the UFC was going to cut him, right? I don't like to hear those things. This knee is still probably not good. He's never going to be good with this knee of his. It's a very, very bad knee injury that he had. I think he's had it multiple times now. Yeah, I'm not in the business of playing this fight. I can't lay the juice with Valentin, to be honest, either. He's a very dumb fighter. He said he's going to come out and just go crazy in this fight, which could be enough to knock out Todorovic. I still think Todorovic is kind of tough and not easy to get out of there. I know Mansour got him out of there, and Chitty did, but I don't think he's that easy to get out of there. You still need to land more than one shot to get him out of there. But yeah, ultimately, I'm passing this fight, man. Like, I can't play either side. I think both guys are bad when it comes to fight IQ, and I'm just not laying any type of price on Valentin. Boofy guy says, I'm all in on Dusko, rent money on the line. I would not do that, but good luck to you. Moy says, Urbina all day? You're crazy. You are a brave man. Doesn't have to worry about getting KO'd in this one. That's his kryptonite. I disagree. He could still get KO'd in this one. The level of comp is different between these Dusko's facing. That's true. This is one of the few dark spots on the card. Yeah, I'm not playing Dusko, man. Too many red flags for me. I think this guy's a walking red flag. I think he can get kicked on the leg and somehow have another knee injury. Fuck that. I am not playing this fight. No, thank you. Next one. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 27-11 Marcin Tybura versus the 14-6 Alexander Rakic. Rakic minus 350. Tybura plus 280. Someone asked me earlier, what parlay piece would you have with Leka Alexander Rakic. Even though at minus 350, even though moving up a weight class, the speed edge here is massive. He's going to have a massive speed edge. He's going to be kicking those legs. Tybura walks like an absolute bot, and he's just going to get picked apart here, man. Rakic's going to be in and out very fast. Tybura is not going to have a wrestling advantage against Rakic. I can tell you that right now. If anybody gets on top, it's Rakic on top of Tybura. But I don't even think he's going to need to grapple here. I think he's just going to outstrike Tybura. He could land also the head kick because Tybura fights out of southpaw a lot, and Rakic has that back leg head kick. Very, very strong leg kick. He's going to land a lot of kicks here against Tybura, in my opinion. I like Rakic here quite a bit. I'm not going to just lay the straight money line. But if you want to use him in a parlay, I don't see many instances he loses Tybura, man. Like, even though this guy has looked awful of late, right? He got finished last fight, right? Rakic did. The guys that he's fighting, Mirzakhanov is way more athletic, way faster. Inkalaev, Prohatska, Blachowicz, just much better guys than an old 40-year-old fucking Tybura, man. Tybura is as washed as they come. Like, he needs to kind of like grind wins, like maybe get guys against the fence, trip them down. It's just not going to happen against a way more athletic, way faster guy like Rakic, who has excellent takedown defense. It's not happening. So is he going to outstrike Rakic? No. Does he have the power to knock out Rakic? I don't even think he does. His hands stink. Does he have any like knockouts on the feet? Let me see. The Denise one was ground and pound. Walt Harris, ground and pound. Greg Hardy, ground and pound. Luis Henrique Barbosa, ground and pound. Victor Pesta, head kick. An injury KO. Yeah, like, this guy has no power in his hands to knock out Rakic. Like, zero. So what's he worried about in this fight? Nothing. Tybura can't get him down, in my opinion. He needs to slip on a banana peel or maybe catch a kick. Maybe catch one of Rakic's kicks and get him down. And if he gets on top, then yeah, Tybura's kind of dangerous. He's going to be bigger. Maybe Rakic has a hard time getting up, you know? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this is an easy win for Alexander Rakic. Also, they're giving him a good guy at heavyweight in his hometown, in his home country of Serbia. This is easy for me. Easy. I know people say, oh, you can't lay 350 with Rakic, but why? Why not in this fight? Where's the advantages for Tybura in this fight? I don't see any. I don't see any advantages for Tybura. Let's move on. Next fight is the co-main event of the night, and it is in the heavyweight division. Wait, what? Hold on a second. What is going on here? What are we doing here? Why is this doing this? All right, here it is. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 29-11-2 Jan Blachowicz versus the 10-0 Navajo Stirling. Stirling minus 310. Blachowicz plus 252. And something that sticks out right away is 43 years old against 28. Jan just had fucking meniscus surgery, guys. April 23rd, he actually had a surgery. April 23rd. What is that? May, June, July 23. That's 3 months and like a week. 3 months and a week. He's going to fight off meniscus surgery at 43 years old. Like, if this didn't happen, I probably would have bet him, honestly. If he wasn't coming off surgery this low, short, even at 43, I would have bet him in this spot. I think it could be very, very competitive against Stirling. What I've seen from Stirling is he drops rounds to people, man. He's a slow starter, in my opinion. Jan is a fast starter, in my opinion. He dropped round one against Kutalaba, almost got finished. He doesn't look comfortable sometimes in the striking. He's shelling up a lot. He's reaching a lot with his arms. Versus pressure fighters, he doesn't look great. Even in the Bellato fight, I know he won that fight pretty easily, but he looked uncomfortable at times. And Jan is going to be the guy that's going to be plotting forward. Front foot, big leg kicks, inside leg kicks. It might bother Stirling, I will say that there's a world where Stirling works Jan into a takedown on the fence, and then Jan's get up game is absolutely atrocious at this point. He's not getting up. Navajo has shown that he can grapple, and he's grappled guys that you wouldn't think he's gonna grapple. Like, let's see here. Stirling against Bellato, he had a takedown there. You know, I didn't. Urslan, he had 3 takedowns. So you could see him potentially grappling in this fight and getting on top of Jan, because Jan, again, his get-up game is non-existent if you get on top of him, man. I mean, when Ankalaev got on top of him, it was over. Like, there was no get-up. Rakic got on top of him in that 1 round. There was no get-up. It was done. So this guy's get-up game is just non-existent. But, I mean, Navo's going to be faster. He's younger. He's going to be able to let off some body kicks, stuff like that. I mean, I can't trust Jan off this surgery. Short time, man. Like, I just can't trust him. Like, Navajo could potentially hurt him. I don't know. Jan is still tough. Guskov hurt him but couldn't finish him. I think Stirling is going to win a decision here. Maybe KO late, but yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in a -310 Stirling. I don't think this guy, honestly, is a top 5 light heavyweight, to be honest with you guys. I really don't. I know a lot of people are high on him. I'm not one of them. I don't think this game is going to translate to a top 5 part, but Jan is 43, bro. Like, that's old as fuck. In you know, a lot of fights under his belt, injuries left. You know, he had that big shoulder injury. Now he has a big meniscus injury, surgery. I can't trust this guy now. There's no way 3 months later you should be fighting at 43 off meniscus surgery. It's just not good. So for me, it's a pass fight. Maybe I look at some kind of prop potentially. But yeah, it's completely pass. I'm not doing anything with that fight. Wait a second here. Yeah, so 426 or 433 live viewers. I appreciate all of you. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all of that stuff, please, for me. I really appreciate you guys. If you're over on Rumble, do the same thing. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to everybody that's in here right now. All the love that you guys show me. Yeah, with that being said, let's move on. Main event time. Here it is. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 20-5 Daniel Rodriguez versus the 13-3 Uros Medic. -370 Medic, +295 Rodriguez. I think the line, I will say right away, the money line is scary on Medic. Like, Medic is KO or bust kind of guy, man. Like, he's either going to KO you or you're going to KO him. And that's it. Maybe sub him, right? But, like, it's hard to bet -370s on these guys that just are like, they either kill you or they get killed, right? And Medic has shown that over and over and over again, that he is kill or be killed. There's no doubt. That's how, I mean, he's never been the decision, guys. He's got 13 wins by finish, 3 wins where he gets, 3 losses where he got finished. So 16 fights, 16 finishes. What makes me think that changes here? Nothing. Rodriguez, on the other hand, almost finished Holland last fight. Who would have thought that? You know, Holland's very, very tough. Had him in a couple of spots where he almost finished him, but then he almost got finished in round 3, right? The thing with Rodriguez is, like, he's going to throw down. That's just what he does. And I think that's a big problem in this fight. Like, maybe he can ice Medic. It's very possible. We saw Punahele Soriano absolutely ice Medic, and he's a southpaw too. And he just put Medic out. And there's a world where Daniel Rodriguez ices Medic here. But I think it's more likely that Medic ices Rodriguez. He hits very fucking hard, man. Medic, when he's landing on guys, they're just going out. They're going to sleep. All of these guys are just absolutely going out. Last fight, Jeff Neal, absolutely out. Muslim Salikov, absolutely out. Urbina, 1 shot, puts him out. Means, same thing. This guy hits extremely fucking hard, right? And He's gaining more confidence. He's on a win streak. They put him in a main event in Serbia. He wants to show out against Daniel Rodriguez. Rodriguez was in prison, didn't train, properly for MMA for like 9 months that he was in prison. Now, he got out like a couple of months ago and like straight into the main event here against Medic. He's probably getting paid a nice bag, but I hate this spot for Daniel Rodriguez, dude. Like, older, he's going to turn 40 this year, facing a very, very big hitter on Medic. Very good timing on his shots. He's extremely good with his counters. I think he's going to catch Rodriguez here early and knock him out, honestly. That's how I feel. Rodriguez is live to finish as well, but I don't see a world how this fight even extends. Like, Rodriguez is just going to try to kill him, or Medic is just going to kill Rodriguez. So there's really not much of a breakdown for me on this fight. I think this fight ends early, probably round 1, probably Medic KO. That's how I see it. Like I said, there's not really a huge breakdown in this main event because it's southpaw versus southpaw, and I think whoever lands the big shot first probably gets a KO. I think Rodriguez, if he lands a big shot, I think Medic could survive it. But if Medic lands a big shot, I don't think Rodriguez can survive it. That's the biggest difference here. And the age gap, the age gap is big. Yeah, that's it. 14 fights. I broke them all down. A little over an hour. I appreciate everybody that's here. Thank you very much again. 463 live viewers. Bang, bang, bang. Thank you to all of you. I will be back Friday, Lambeau Place podcast, maybe Thursday night, actually, maybe tomorrow, because again, it's a very early card. So maybe Thursday night, Lambeau Place podcast with Timothy Troiano. Last week, we hit the sub 3 on Hussein at plus 2,200. We hit the main event, round 5, plus 1,800 on Nikolic at a plus 14,000 win last week. I've had an incredible year betting. So if you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord. It is absolutely popping off lately. We won, I don't know, a little more 3.5 units last week. BKFC had a huge bet on BKFC last week, a 3-unit bet that easily cashed. We've been just crushing it all year, man, over and over again. I think I'm up over 60 units given out in the Discord. Every play is tracked. Every play, I don't hide any of my fucking plays. All plays are there to, be played on the books that I've given. So there's no hiding any of them. It's been an incredible year. I appreciate everybody that supported me. And, likewise, I hope everybody gets what they want from these videos that I give out, for free here on YouTube. Hopefully it helps them with their research and their bets. So good luck this weekend for UFC Belgrade. And let's cash those tickets.